Hello, Facebook Live. It's day 2 of the 30-day life challenge. And today, I want to talk to you about why self-care is the foundation of your power. And this is such an important topic because there has been such a hype about self-love and self-care in the last decade. And then it kind of lost its energy, its attraction, because people started feeling like, oh no, it's all just beauty and butterflies, and it actually doesn't take them anywhere. And that is true, because just self-love and self-care will not get you anywhere. But the problem with all of this, with this whole self-care, self-love movement, was that it was not integrating other aspects. It was not integrating our ability to lead ourselves, our ability to stand in our power, and our ability to also do what we want to do with our lives, in the sense of knowing that self-care isn't always just giving in to every little whim you have, but also going after your dreams. Doing the thing that feels hard to do in the moment, because on the bigger scale, it's going to take you where you want to go. Like anything that you care about, if you have a project and that you really want to make happen, and it's really important to you, and then you had a long day at work and you're kind of not in a mood, you'd rather just stay on the couch and watch TV and not work on your project, then of course it is within your capacity, within your ability to go after this project and to say, okay, no, I love myself, I care about myself, and this project, it matters to me. So I'll step up and I'll go and I will do what I need to do. I will work on my project. And maybe on a day where you're really, really tired, when you come home from work and you're totally destroyed, you will not work on that project for 2 hours. You'll work on it for 20 minutes. Or you'll know, okay, today I would really ignore my most basic needs. If I would do that work, I need to rest. And then you rest. But understanding that true self-care and self-love also sometimes means pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and not giving in to every whim of your ego is the missing piece that kind of made that whole self-love movement collapse. And so self-care and self-love is not just about making yourself feel good all the time about everything and like never pushing yourself at all. No, it's about understanding what matters to you and what you care about and where you want to go with your life, and then getting yourself to do what it takes without ignoring your needs. Doing that while you meet your needs, while you make sure you have the rest that you need, you have the healthy, good food that you need, you have the fresh air and movement that you need, that your needs are met. But not your egoic needs, but your main soul and physical human needs. And so that is where we create a balance between self-love and self-care, and stepping into our power and showing up and doing whatever it takes to create the life that we want. And this is where the self-care, the self-love becomes a foundation for our power, because you cannot give from an empty cup. So if we are not able to care for ourselves properly and to notice what we need, to feel our needs, to see our needs, and to meet our own needs, to take care of our own needs, then we will not have the energy, we will not have the power to go after our dreams. Because it's like a dry well. There's no water coming out of a dry well. If you never fill up the well, what do you expect? We really gotta make sure that our needs are met, that we care for ourselves properly, and then we can go and we can make stuff happen, and we can go after our dreams, and we can step into our power, and we can start showing up. Because that's where we actually have the energy to do it. And so self-care becomes then the foundation. but not self-care in the egoic sense where you give in to every little whim that you have, but self-care in understanding your needs, in learning to feel your needs, and also notice, check in with your body, be present and feel what it is that you really need, what it is that really helps you, fills you up, so that then you can give again, that you can overflow into your projects, into what you want to do with your life, into whatever it is that you care about making happen in your life. And that is absolutely essential, because we can only give from overflow, and there needs to be a balance in our life between giving and receiving. And we do not always have to receive from another person. Every time you allow yourself to lean back and rest and breathe and take care of yourself and meet your own needs, you receive. When you cook yourself a very healthy meal, it's receiving. It's a process of receiving. When you go and you lie down in the sun, you're receiving. You're receiving the sunlight, you're receiving the warmth. You don't need another person to receive. But you need to create the space so that you can receive, so that then you can be full again to give and to invest energy into your projects and into the things that you care about, that you want to make happen. So learning to understand our needs, learning to tune in, and that can be as little as I take 3 deep breaths and I ask myself, what do I really need right now? If you make that a habit, like do that 3 times a day, 5 times a day, whatever suits you, but you just check in with yourself, just 3 breaths. Feel your body and ask yourself, what do I really need right now? You will notice that something will change within you, and you will start noticing that you much easier figure out what you really need, because you're beginning to listen. And your body notices that you listen, so it speaks louder, it speaks clearer, and you start to hear better what it has to say. And then it becomes easier and easier to figure out what it is that you really need. And that's also something that I sometimes include when I ask myself, what is it that I need? And I'm noticing, something about that answer feels a bit off. I then ask myself, what is it that I really need? And that's actually often what we notice, where the ego self comes in and tries to keep us in a comfort zone. And then when we ask ourselves, what is it that we really need? The soul comes in, our higher self comes in and tells us, oh yeah, actually, you don't need to go lie in front of the TV right now. You need to go get your ass up and work on a project that you care about. That's what you really need. And that's really the thing where I notice it can be a bit of a trap sometimes. Like, if we are not practicing regularly to tune in and to really tune into our highest energy, then we can get easily caught up in the low frequencies and get tricked by our own egos into staying in our comfort zones. So it's a really good idea that when you're starting to practice this, learning to listen to your own needs and figuring out what it is that you really need, that you begin by going in with both questions. Like, first you ask yourself, what is it that I need? And then you ask yourself, what is it that I really need? For me, sometimes, for example, I ask myself, what is it that I need? And I get the answer, I'm hungry, I need food. And then I tune in deeper and I ask myself, what is it that I really need? And then I realized, oh, this would have just been emotional eating, because what I really need is, I need to feel comforted. I need to feel loved right now. I need to feel accepted, or some emotional need that is actually underneath. And I would have just covered that up with eating, because we have developed coping mechanisms, like to fulfill our needs. For example, when we struggled as children to get our needs met, we then replaced them with other things. And eating is one of those number one things that we like to do when we are not able to meet a need with the proper thing that we would need. So we replace it with something else. And eating is something that, like, most people regularly do emotional eating. You know, that pack of chips when you're not hungry, that's emotional eating. Sometimes it can just be really desire, and this is like, now I I indulge, but how often is it really indulging and you really, really enjoying every chip? Because if you do that, you probably have enough after 2 hands full. But if you eat the whole pack, it's probably emotional eating. So I catch myself pretty often there, where then my higher self then steps in when I ask again and says, no, actually, you need this and this kind of emotional support right now. You need this and this feeling loved, feeling cared for right now. And then I ask myself, okay, how can I give myself that right now? And sometimes that ends up being cuddled up in a cover, holding a pillow on the couch, watching my favorite TV show. And sometimes that is the way I can give myself that comfort that I'm looking for. And sometimes it's something else. So really learning how we can take care of ourselves properly is essential, because then our cup is full. And then when it comes to showing up, when it comes to doing what we want to do with our lives, we have ample amount of energy to do it. And we are good to go. And that's where we notice we run into much less self-sabotage and we run into much less struggle, because when there is a lot of energy that you can source from to go after your dreams, there is a lot less trouble. There's a lot less challenges, because a big piece of why we are not going after our dreams is that we're constantly feeling burned out and tired. And it feels so hard to get ourselves to do the thing because we're not meeting our needs, because we're not taking proper care of ourselves, because we weren't taught to do so. Like we're little children. When we're little children, our parents take care of ourselves. And then at some point we're grown up and we live our own lives, but we're never told, like, now it's your job to take care of yourself. And listen, this is how you do it. You learn to tune into your body. You learn to ask yourself, what do I need? We're not taught that. So it's not an easy process for us to get to the point where we can actually take proper care of ourselves. It's something we have to learn. So, and this is why self-care is absolutely the foundation for our power. Because when we have a full cup, we can pour into our dreams, we can pour into our projects, we can pour into the people we love. No problem, because we know how to fill our own cup. If my cup's half empty and I notice, I go and I fill it up. And then the next time I have to show up for my life and for my dreams and for the things I care about and for the challenges also, I'll be full, because I know how to fill my own cup. I know how to listen to my needs. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope this serves you. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Let me know your opinions, your experiences. And if this served you, and if you know someone or can think of someone who you think will profit from this, please feel free to share this live stream. And I will see you again tomorrow for day 3 of the 30-day life challenge. I love you. Have a beautiful night. See you tomorrow.